You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Welcome. This is the holiday edition of the ITintheD Show, episode 176. Whatever it is that you are celebrating, happy that.
Merry Christmas Kwanzaa.
All the things. Happy all the things. We have actually a really, really cool show. Speaking of the holidays, we have a great holiday idea. We have the creator of Moka, Boka, Charlie Wolborg, is in the house. Also,
Berg.
Wolborg.
Berg.
I said Berg.
Not Borg.
Borg.
He's not the bad guys from Star Trek.
Whatever. And then Calvin Moore is going to be joining us from 7.2 Tours later on. And and Rogue One, we've seen it twice, and we'll be talking about that too.
Because we're gonna strap Nuri to the chair, and we're just gonna go ahead and dive into it. That's how it's gonna go.
In the fine words of Grand Moff Tarkin, you may fire when ready.
You may fire when ready.
I'm one with the Force, the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
You're listening to the ITintheD Show.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the Sun? Any of those right?
Hi, this is Jeremy London from Mallrats, and I'm just wondering, how did I go from Hot Floridian Sex with Brandy Spinning to the ITintheD Show?
Take him to Detroit.
No, not Detroit. No, please. Anything but that. No.
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come. Shut up.
Dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bumhole?
Exactly. Come on. Someone tries. To hell with this. I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the ITintheD Show.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to ITintheD Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie. And you're listening to ITintheD.
Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to ITintheD. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Pump. ITintheD Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to. Well, especially with the back doors open. It's just too big. How big? It's way too big.
I can get it all the way in.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
But it's delicious.
This is Robert Hayes, Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the ITintheD Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the ITintheD Show. The tough guy. Oh!
What would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
Welcome. Thank you for listening. You have reached the one and only ITintheD Show, and this is the pre-Christmas, pre-Hanukkah, pre-Kwanzaa, pre-celebration thing.
I am one with the cash, and the cash is with me. I am one with the cash, and the cash is with me.
Yes. This is 176, hanging out here in Studio One here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Bob the Sales Guy, hanging out with Captain Soundboard, Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG is in the country. Can you believe it? Find us online, ITintheD.com.
Well, he's been in the country for a while. He's just actually in state.
Yes.
And
I just noticed
you were
in Seattle
you were making voiceover money.
I was doing voiceover money.
Dave, you know what I just noticed? The C-3PO's been beheaded again.
Yes, I was going to warn you about that before the show, and I forgot.
We have a C-3PO Buddha on our soundboard, and
the C-3PO.
It's gorgeous. It's about 8 inches tall, and it looks bronze.
And it's the same one that broke before. And
it's heavy. It's like
and actually, Caitlin touched base with me Tuesday, and she was like, "Oh my god!" And she was freaking out that like something had gone seriously wrong. And I'm like, "No, that's the one that broke before. It's okay."
So I almost went Kylo Ren, the last one that got beheaded.
That's why everybody, dude. I've gotten notes from every show that's been in here.
It wasn't me.
Bob's gonna shit.
Just say it wasn't you.
He's gonna kill us and he's gonna shit. Well, what's he gonna do first?
Bob's gonna be angry.
Yeah, right. Hey, segment 2, we are joined by the creator of Moka, Boka. Charlie Wahlberg's in the house. And then segment 3 is going to be all Rogue One.
It sounds like a shot, but it's a kid's book thing.
Yeah.
It
could be a shot. We'll talk about that.
Bring me 3 Moka Bokas.
Bora Bora. Moka Boka and Bora Bora. Segment 3, we're going to be joined by Calvin with 7.2 Tours, and Charlie's going to hang out. We're going to be talking all Rogue One. Spoiler alert, don't listen to segment 3 if you're worried about if you haven't seen Rogue One this weekend.
Why haven't you been to the it's 7 days in now?
Twice. Yeah.
I hate movie theaters, and I've seen it twice. Well,
right.
I hate people in movie theaters, and I have seen it twice.
So this episode is brought to you by our friends at Indeed Prime. If you know anything about Indeed Prime is a premium talent platform, matches elite tech talent with top companies. It's just like regular Prime, Indeed, but it's Indeed Prime. It's just like regular Indeed, but it's Indeed. Listen,
this episode brought to you by Jägermeister.
Candidates get immediate exposure to the best tech companies with one simple app. And when you get hired, Indeed Prime gives you a $2,000 bonus to say thank you for using them. Now, listen, it's not one of those $30 a month.
But wait, there's more.
There is. It's not $30 a month. It's free to sign up. It's free to use. It is not a subscription service. It is free to use.
It's not LinkedIn Premium. It's
not any
LinkedIn
of that.
Job Seeker. It's not any of that nonsense.
But if you get $2,000 just using it regular, if you use our link, you'll get a $5,000 bonus. So do us all a favor. Sign up now.
So you get a $3,000 bonus above the $2,000 bonus.
Right, so $5,000 total.
$5,000.
$5,000.
And as we have discussed,
Smokey the Bandit,
you get a job through Indeed.com/IT. The drinks are on you.
3 shots of Pappy. Do us a favor. Sign up right now at Indeed.com/IT. It's 100% free for candidates, and it helps hiring managers find awesome talent. So do us a favor. Indeed.com/IT. So we're bailing on Rogue One right now, right?
We're going to save Rogue One for segment 3.
So after I leave.
Right.
I don't give 2 shits.
Nuri can get the hell out of here. So I
guess just letting everybody know next week we will not be doing a show. We're going to take a Christmas break to hang out with our families. We're debating.
There may or may not be something because there's going to be a lot of people here at the studio doing other stuff. And
it won't be our regular show, but we'll.
So this is our last planned episode of 2016.
We could still come in and talk Rogue One again.
We could. We could probably for the rest of the year until the next Star Wars movie comes out next year. But they made what, $170 million this weekend?
So no more than that. It was
international
200 and something million.
Yeah,
that's quite a bit south of Force Awakens, though, isn't it?
No,
they did say the pre-sales were 50% below the Force Awakens, so there was that whole stupid boycott Star Wars thing that was going on because Trump supporters were like, "Meh, they did the reshoots to make it anti-Trump," and so then ginormous opening weekend, so they were trying to save face and backpedal. They're like, "Oh, but it was less than the Force Awakens." I'm sure their heart bleeds for $200 and some odd million opening weekend.
I don't think this has the repeat views for the kids because it's a much darker movie,
dude.
We'll talk about it in segment 3.
I'm waiting because I'm waiting.
I can't wait. That's 2 segments away. This is not the segment you're looking for.
That's right. This is not the segment you're looking for.
So Google,
dude, this is the one we've talked about this a million times. Google, they got rid of the whole "do no evil" on their homepage. Like that was like front and center on
like
Google
a guiding
for a long
principle.
It was,
Right.
and then they got rid of it. And ever since then, there's been like robots running through the woods and crazy.
Now we talk about this all the time. If you like, I hate ghost movies. Like I will not. I don't mind horror movies. Friday the 13th, like Godzilla, that crap. That's fine. Ghost movies though, put me underneath the covers.
So that's why you don't do Snapchat, because of the little ghost logo.
Yes,
right?
totally.
Oh, okay.
Those robots running
Bob totally does Snapchat.
I have nightmares. I have nightmares of those Google robots running through the woods.
And now, dude, this story tweaked me out. So we had the little story about what is it? It's Quick Draw.
Oh, it's the coolest thing. I was at a party actually a couple nights ago, and someone's like, "Give me your phone." I'm like, "This is always a trap." He's like,
It's a trap.
He's like, "No,
Don't
no,
hit
no."
photo gallery. Don't hit photo gallery.
Well, exactly. The video gallery is even worse. The slow motion on these phones is amazing for drops. It's either way. So the Quick Draw with Google.com, basically, it gives you a thing to draw in 20 seconds.
So it's not the old like 70s cartoon Quick Draw McGraw.
No.
And it's not Pictionary either.
Basically, Google's trying to guess what you're drawing based on AI. So it says draw a pool. And so you're like, it's fucking diving board. And just, it's like, oh, you're drawing a cat, a dog,
a potato.
Oh, I know, it's a pool. And it is ridiculous.
So that scares me.
They got me 8 out of 10 with just finger painting.
Yep.
Like one finger, not like taking my time either.
So that scares me because now we have this story where Google's AI, they developed 3 separate neural network AIs. They let 2 of them share an encryption key.
I think they generated the key themselves.
They did.
Yes.
They generated the key themselves and started talking back and forth. The 3rd AI neural network cannot decrypt the messages that the other 2 Google neural network AIs are sharing. So now we have neural networks that are out there talking to each other, and we're getting closer and closer to Skynet every day.
How do we kill them? That's going to be the first note.
No, kill all humans are dead. Kill
Right.
all humans. Kill all humans? Hey, Bob, kill all humans.
Yeah, exactly. We're like Bender. We're this close to Bender from Futurama.
How
Kill
do we
all
kill all
humans.
humans?
Yeah. That story just creeped me the hell out.
Is somebody trying to break it, or they're just the 3rd AI can't?
No, the third AI. So you've got a neural network that has all the processing power of Google behind it,
and their names are Alice, Bob, and Eve.
Yeah, and
I feel like we are on the eve of something
destruction
terrible.
is what we are.
It's like we have cyberbullying among AI now.
Yeah.
There's
Because
one
they're
left
passing
out.
notes.
Yeah, like the first two.
It's the one that
are
can't
a click.
get into the
They're talking
conversation.
shit about Eve.
Yeah, the
Alice
first
and
two
Bob
AI
are talking
are a
shit.
click, and the third one is off in the corner, the nerd.
That's right. You can't
The
sit with
nerd
us,
AI.
Eve.
Have you seen how slow her processor is? Oh my god!
See the size of her hard drive?
Look at the ones and zeros she wore to
chips.
class today. So last year's ones and zeros.
One of our favorite topics that we've talked about ever since it first happened, Ashley Madison.
Oh yeah,
so those.
How do I always come back on when we're talking about this?
Oh, I don't know, Calvin. How is that?
It's like I have a homing beacon for this.
So all those accounts they exposed, all the chaos that got unleashed,
37 million user profiles.
37
all the shit it caused in my
million
marriage.
user profiles,
And 36 of them were fake.
Yeah, exactly, and 36 of them were actual real accounts.
Right.
$1.6 million is the fine they had to pay.
That's it?
Yeah.
For 37 million accounts, that works out to being $23 an account.
That's I did that math.
So that's I wonder if that sets a precedence, because you think about Yahoo or any of these other major attacks. $23 is all a single user account goes for in the dark web. What's the value of that?
No. That's not what they were getting for it on the dark web.
right.
That's the fine from the government
It should be
for
so much more.
And the
than that.
CEO's hilarious. I think he's got to be trolling. This is the CNET article. Today's settlement closes an important chapter in the company's past and reinforces our commitment to operating with integrity and building a new future for our members.
So let's just focus on AshleyMadison.com.
What its purpose
and
is.
operating with integrity.
So we're going to continue to help you cheat on your spouse.
When I think of that word integrity, I do not think.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
He chuckles when he said it, but that didn't get added in the print.
Yeah, no shit. Nuri, you mentioned Yahoo. Yahoo revealed that they got breached
Well, they just go away already.
I deleted my
Your
Yahoo
network has as much integrity as your users.
Yeah.
That's about
Dude,
it.
Who uses
billion.
Yahoo besides my dad because he installed the toolbar and he can't get rid of it?
A billion Yahoo accounts. Like, let that sink in. I'm sure there had to be people like me that had like 37 different like accounts at one point. But like, how many of them were still active? Because I guess this was a breach from 2013.
August 2013.
Do you know that
I'm
Ymail
sure
exists?
I have a Yahoo account somewhere out there.
Like they tried to like make a Gmail. Did you know this, Neri? They tried to make a Gmail counterpart and called it Ymail. And there's
I remember.
There's about
Yeah.
16 users.
I remember.
There's about 16 users globally.
No, your casual encounters Craigslist users are using your Ymail.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
true.
so
Yeah.
those are the people who are using these kinds.
He heard someone talked on a
hypothetically speaking.
I
yeah.
used-
you read
someone
that
said
on a bathroom
bus.
wall.
Yeah.
I used Ymail for my
voice. You don't know my life.
for my Ashley Madison account.
2016.
I used
Don't judge me.
Ymail. I did. Yeah. What's interesting about this, though, is that they didn't just get usernames and passwords and birth dates and phone numbers, but they also got security questions and backup answers. Backup email addresses.
Which don't change all that often.
What is your mother's maiden name?
What's your favorite pet?
Where were you born?
These guys are going to win every time it's what is your porn name now? Because they know the street we grew up on and they know our mother's maiden name. They know our first pet.
That's awesome. You get a building for that.
But like law enforcement had to tell them. That's what I'm reading from the Yahoo note that they sent us.
Yeah.
Is law enforcement provided us with in November 16 with data files that a third party claimed basically took all the things.
What's even worse is that they've already sold 3 copies of this on the darknet. 2 to known spammers and 1 to someone that they think may be involved in espionage.
You know what? You can spam my old Yahoo account all you want.
But also,
I don't know how to check it.
Right. I don't remember the password anymore.
Well, the thing is, we would say we wouldn't fall for phishing emails, but a certain member of the government did.
But Podesta did.
Oh, goodness. Now, this thing was confirmed inside.
Now, disclaimer, we don't get political.
No, not at all.
We're not getting political.
I do.
We're just saying.
I do.
Here's
Mute
a
him,
prime
mute
example.
his mic.
Just the facts, man. Just the facts.
So as the story goes, Mr. John Podesta, the head of the DNC.
He makes a really great risotto, I hear, too, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah.
Podesta risotto?
Yeah.
In pizza joints around Washington, D.C.?
Well, I'm trying to look it up real quick right now, but apparently
so
he
a
clicked
phishing email
to change his
came in.
password on Google. He clicked it.
Yep, he clicked. Well,
he forwarded it,
he
right?
forwarded it and said, "What's up with this?" Basically, and literally the hack that allegedly kept Hillary Clinton from being president comes down to a typo, because the IT guy that replied to the note meant to type, "This is illegitimate. This is an illegitimate email." He typed this, or he sent, "This is a legitimate email." So with that in mind,
that typo.
Podesta clicked, reset his password
to password, with
and
an
now
sign and a 0.
and now 60,000 emails, which by the way were being stored in Gmail. Let's not even go into other servers at this point in time. Were then released to Russian hackers.
It's really unprecedented.
Which, by the way, I'm really, really mad. So
Charlie's been saving these jokes up all day.
I was out. I was out with friends Saturday night, and Rump Shaker came on, and so after careful consideration, I decided that all I want to do is room a zoom, and a boom boom. I decided that our new president-elect, who now has received all the electoral votes to become president, he will now be known as Trump Shaker. Is how I think I will refer to him from now on. And all
Check, baby. Check, baby. Did you see the Tom Lawrence from Lawrence Systems? Did you see the video that he posted?
Any relation to John Stout from Stout Systems?
Yeah, I know. John. So Tom, apparently they recreated the Podesta email in Darth Vader.
Yes.
So it was one of the generals.
A New Hope, Star Wars.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, he goes, it's misspelled Vader. He goes, do you see the last time somebody, he goes, he's got them big gloves on. He'll run a typo. Like, change your password. Vader said so.
You know, now that that's out, I'm pretty sure that IT guy's going to end up like washing up on the shores of the Potomac next week.
Well, dude,
going to commit suicide with a bullet in his back.
Remember
self-inflicted knife wound to the back.
Yeah, remember?
On a knife 37 times.
No, remember the guy they figured out was the guy who was running Hillary Clinton's email servers that went on Reddit to ask for advice on how to better obfuscate stuff?
Remember? So, speaking of getting stabbed in the back, don't take an Uber in Bloomfield Hills.
What a segue.
Too soon?
So, like, listen, when you flag down an Uber, what do you usually do? Because I hold up my phone saying, you know,
hey, are you?
Stab me.
I called you. And then the guy rolls his window down and goes, you Bob? And he goes, yeah. All right, get in. Well, apparently this Uber passenger.
So 1:30 in the morning.
Taps on his window with the phone. And this guy goes bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
See, I didn't read with his phone. I just read tapped on
Tapped in the window. I assumed it was, I don't know. Just I added that for you know, so you can envision it better. And basically the guy gets out and stabbed him 5 times.
No. Let them in the car.
Oh, I thought he went outside.
No. Let them in the car. Drove to a nearby park, like a strip mall, parked the car, told them to get the F out of his car. They said, well, can we wait until we get another Uber? At which point, he dove in the back seat and started stabbing the guy.
So they were talking about a 97.1, so that's where I got my breaking news
It was
from.
bad because
you know better than to trust the media.
Well, apparently his car was being disrespected, Bob, because knocking on a 2012 Honda Civic is completely disrespecting it.
Yeah.
Did it have a big spoiler on it?
I don't know.
Foreshadowing, his username was Stabby McStabberson. So,
how do you not see that coming when it shows you your driver's name and it's Knifey McStabberson?
Hey, he must be in the Navy. I don't know what the hell.
Dude, I had a really cool Uber driver the other night. He was he worked for an Apple subsidiary in the area doing unnamed vehicle projects.
Okay.
And I'm like, ooh, why are you driving an Uber? He's like, yeah, it's fun. But anyway.
So
Is
he
Elon
stab me.
Hobby available.
Yes. Is Elon Musk trolling us now? Is he just is he lost his damn mind?
No, it's because girls are so funny and smart.
I think he's messing with us now.
But I think it would be brilliant if this happened.
But we saw what happened in Boston where they tried to tunnel under the city now.
The big dig.
Right. It's a big mess for 20 years. So Elon Musk's great idea, which he's got to be trolling because he called it the boring project.
Well, let's be honest. This great idea that evolves over the span of 4 tweets from Elon Musk, where he said, I'm stuck in traffic. I freaking hate it. This is crazy. There's got to be something to do about it. Then it was, I'm going to go ahead and dig under this. I'm going to dig under cities to help improve traffic flow.
But he said it was actually going to happen.
I'm going to call it the Boring Company because you're boring through the earth.
I get it.
I get it. And then he was like, this totally has to happen.
I think it's actually a clever Pixar promotion for Incredibles 2 with the Underminer coming back.
Because nothing is beneath me.
So here's his tweets. His first tweet was, traffic's driving me nuts. I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging. And it should be called the Boring Company. Boring, it's what we do. I'm actually going to do this. Those are his 4 tweets.
But remember when we talked about this a couple episodes ago? He had this idea of that we were living in a simulation. He basically said that we were 100% guaranteedly living in a computer.
Dude, I'm pretty sure Elon Musk does a crap ton, allegedly, LSD. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk
views
does.
Expressed by Dave the Geek do not necessarily reflect those of IT in the day.
Or
its its sponsors.
His alarm clock every morning just says, "Whoa,
whoa." So, are you feeling old today, Bob?
Yes, I know. I feel old every day.
All right. Well, this is going to make you feel older because BuzzFeed, God bless them, came out with a list of things little viral moments from the web that are 10 years old today. Now, see, to me, when people say 10 years ago, I still think they're talking about the 90s.
Right.
I have that time-space distortion in my head.
The I Like Turtles kid is 10 years older.
Leave Britney alone. Chris Crawford or whatever the hell, or Crocker, whatever the hell his name was 10 years ago.
What in the butt song's 10 years old?
What in the butt? Because you said, yeah, remember the South Park episode with Butters? That was
totally
10 years ago.
And then Miss South Carolina
with maps and such.
And such as
it was 10 years ago.
The Iraq and the and such as
Soulja Boy. Crank that.
So that feels like it's old. That feels like it's 20 years old.
10 years ago. Dramatic Chipmunk. Dude, I remember posting it. Dun, dun, dun! I remember posting that on like every reply ever.
It wasn't chipmunk though, wasn't it?
It's really a groundhog.
hedgehog?
Yeah.
See, now the one that gets me is the "Don't Tase Me, Bro." That was 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. 2007.
And chocolate rain.
That means the iPhone came out 10 years ago. The iPhone came out in 2007.
Next year is going to be the anniversary edition, purportedly, anyway.
Well, dude, next year, Star Wars turns 40 next year. A New Hope is 40 years old.
I'm only 26.
Then apparently 40 is the new awesome. 40 is the new awesome.
Rick Rolling is 10 years old.
See, that feels older just because I grew up with the song.
Yeah, because Rick Astley has been around forever. Though.
I mean, Rick Rolling is going to be ageless. It's nothing anyone can ever get.
Yeah, it's never going to go away. It's never going to give you up. It's never going to let you down.
I feel like people in Egypt were Rick Rolling people. They have that video come up in hieroglyphics or something. Hieroglyphic video.
Wait a minute. The sun god Ra, R-A.
Rick Astley. Aliens. Where's Georgios
Charlie,
when you need him?
Drop the bomb.
Kurt Russell, we need your Stargate now.
But like one of my favorite memes, Disaster Girl, which is like she has this like ominous look in front of a house fire.
Or just that self-satisfied, creepy look in front of the house fire.
I don't know this one.
And some e-cards that everybody posts on everything.
Dude, 10 years ago was like comedy gold for the internet. What has happened?
Years old.
Someone did a follow-up story on Success Boy. I see he was on CBS News. They were
Success Kid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Well, then, like, the one, like, the first famous one that, like, got in a whole bunch of crap was Star Wars Kid, where that, like, kind of chubby kid grabbed the sticks and tried to play, like,
and now he hosts a famous podcast. So, I mean...
Well, there was Numa Numa.
He got mad paid for that, too, for, like, all the people getting... No, people, like, felt sorry for him. That was, like, the first Kickstarter, was to, like, get him out so he doesn't kill himself.
I got to wonder, though, because 10 years ago, the iPhone wasn't out yet, so you didn't have smartphones in this kind of way. So you had to go to your computer. You had to literally be at your computer to see some of the stuff.
I was all getting emailed.
I was BlackBerry. I remember the roll jog, the
torch,
with the keyboard on the front.
But you can remember
I went to the internet.
You can remember it though. So I'm wondering, like when they say 10 years from now, let's say we get another 10 years from now and look at stuff, are we going to even remember it because everything was on our smartphone? Nothing has the staying power that 10 years ago had.
That's interesting. You know how we all say we can't remember phone numbers anymore because it's all just touch the button at speed dial.
Yeah.
Our memory's that way because
phone number.
My memory's digitized already. I don't need to remember it anymore.
So what's going to be the next thing in 10 years? Because, I mean, there's nothing... Because we always talk about it with the music. Like, who are going to be like the Police and Run DMC and like the Stones? Like, you know, when the 20-year-olds get to be 40, who are they going to say member to?
We're going to have to say this was 5 years ago. I think that's how far our memory goes back. I think that's what's going to happen. Personally.
So one more breach worth noting: Quest Diagnostics. I want to make sure we. Apparently, 34,000 patient records got out.
Well, that's the big one because it's healthcare,
including their lab results and their phone numbers. So if you get a hold of that file,
I gotta go.
This is not your average breach. This is like screwed up shit. Like, hey, you've got HIV. If you don't give me $10,000, I'm outing you to everybody.
There are things I haven't told my wife yet. I should probably have that conversation. Right? Oh my gosh!
And I guarantee they're going to pay $23 per record.
Oh, probably more than that. Absolutely, yeah. And then, dude, this whole story about a lawyer dug into Instagram's terms of service. So
someone actually read a terms of service.
A lawyer, go figure. And basically, because Instagram's getting bigger and bigger. Because remember,
zoom in on it.
Remember when Instagram was just like food pictures? Remember that's all Instagram was when it launched, was food pictures. And now, like, all the kids are getting off Facebook and going to Instagram. And that's the thing.
Snapchat now, from what I've been told.
Yes, even Snapchat's losing, because now, But so basically, if you dig into the Instagram terms of use, you are giving them any picture you post, you are giving them a perpetual license for, that they can then not only keep even if you delete it, but they can license it to anybody. It can then be sub-licensed to anybody. It can be used for any purpose whatsoever. And
non-exclusive is the key word there.
So it's and you get
fully paid, which means Instagram doesn't have to compensate you.
Nope. because you've given them all the things.
They're creating a stock photography library.
They're creating the new iPhoto. Yeah.
So if your mug shows up on a billboard for like diarrhea cream, like you're screwed.
Well, like that episode of Friends with Joey where he
totally.
Yeah. Well, and there was all that fire about Facebook about using your likeness with third-party ads like a year ago, where you had go to the setting and opt out of being able to having your photo used in third-party ads. This is the same thing, except there's no opt-out. You use Instagram. That's what it is.
Their privacy policy goes on for even weirder stuff about sharing your information. They say, we may remove parts of data that can identify you and share data with other parties. We may also combine.
We may.
May is a weasel word.
Yeah, we don't have to, but we may.
Exactly.
But I want to share my pictures with my friends. Don't you dare take that away from me.
And everybody's worried about Facebook. And
I want my filter to make it look like a picture from the 70s.
Yeah.
So at what point does society turn and become not so much voyeur, or everyone closes up?
No, we don't, because we need the
doesn't tighten.
Charlie, we need the likes. We need the affirmation.
Like
we need
episode of Black Mirror.
We need the clickies.
Yeah,
that's how. Because if you put an Instagram out and it only gets like one like, you're like, what the hell? Nobody likes my picture. That was a great picture.
That's why I'm on Signal. I moved almost all of my SMSs to Signal.
See, yeah,
fully encrypted, not share with anybody
until it goes public.
And I read their terms of service.
Well, and some people are tweaking out a little bit about Facebook's new encrypted messenger. Like, so, if you start a new chat with somebody on Facebook, you can start it as an encrypted chat, and you can trigger the deletion of that chat on both sides.
Because they're going Snapchatty.
But that's the screenshot.
Dude, Facebook Messenger, the new UI for taking pictures, looks just like Snapchat. It has a big round circle for taking pictures on it.
They're trying to combat Snapchat.
And I'm super confused by it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's strange.
I can't put any little dog filters in my face.
If my daughter is not around, I don't know how to use Snapchat, and now I don't know how to use Facebook, and I've been showing her how to use Facebook.
Dude, I had a friend of mine's daughter show me how to use that.
UI would be getting better, and it seems like it's a lost art.
And Snapchat's
don't even get me started on Facebook Live, just showing up with videos in my corner now. I'm like,
no, I turn all that nonsense off.
How do you turn?
I'll show you how to
you got to show me how to turn it off.
I get no notifications of anybody going
during
live
the break.
ever.
We're going to be showing Calvin how to turn off Facebook Live. But we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with Charlie Wahlberg from Moka Boka. This is the IT in the D Show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, Hot in Cleveland, Secret Lives of the American Teenager, and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D Show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Welcome back. This is segment 2 of episode 176 of the Celebrate All the Things episode.
I don't have Cool in the Gang.
The week before.
Come on.
Week before Christmas. But this is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us online, ITintheD.com. Randy is not on the Twitters because he is at Rogue One right now, but Ian is filling up our Twitter space. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to the podcast wherever fine podcasts are sold. And we are here.
Yeah. So have you ever had a Mac in a corporate environment?
No.
Usually people with Macs in corporate environments.
These days, half the people.
Right. But they're always treated like they're redheaded stepchildren.
Totally.
It's like, you can get a Mac, but we're not going to support you, and we're not going to push software to you, and you're basically on your own, and you can't call the help desk, and we don't have hardware spares, and blah, blah, blah. It shouldn't be that way. So basically, there's been a gap in software for enterprise management for Mac machines in large enterprises. I mean, Windows has SCCM. Windows has the ability to push software and get reports. And if you're an IT administrator, basically Macs are like black boxes on your network. You've got no idea what's going on with
Cisco,
them.
half the employees had Macs.
I wonder if they manage them with a solution.
And what would that solution be?
One of our thanks very much to Jamf Software, one of our advertisers this week. I have tons of experience with Jamf because when I was at T-Mobile, the CIO is like, we need Macs here, and you need to figure out how to make them work. And Jamf was one of the people I looked at. And this is years ago. They're a cloud-based mobile device management solution for iPads, iPhones, and Macs in the workplace. So basically, they make device management accessible and affordable for everyone so businesses can support Mac users really without help from IT. You can configure settings on Apple devices quickly and consistently over the air, manage your devices by centrally deploying apps anytime from anywhere, just like if you're using SCCM for Windows. And you can also, another big part of that is if you're not managing a Mac, what happens when data walks out the door? So Jamf now can actually ensure sensitive company information stays on their Apple devices and remains secure, enforce passcodes or encryption over the air, even lock or wipe a Mac remotely, just like you would with any of your Windows software.
Right.
See how easy it is to manage, set up, and secure your Apple devices anytime from anywhere, and get your first 3 devices for free. And every other Mac or other iPad or iPhone is just $2 per device per month, which I'm sure is a lot cheaper than what it costs for Windows licenses.
Totally.
Right? And Jamf is not new. They've been around. They've got 8,500 global customers, 6.5 million devices that they manage. And get your free account today.
Well, and on a personal tip, like you said, you played with this.
Dude, I played with it. There's a couple of solutions out there. None of them were as purpose-built for a Mac as Jamf. So create your free account today at Jamf. That's jamf.com/ITintheD. That's jamf.com/ITintheD. And
cool.
Thanks for your support.
Love that stuff.
Dude, I was like I've super endorsed these guys. It's amazing. Check them out.
Cool.
So if it sucks, it's Nuri at ITintheD.com.
Send hate mail or topless pictures to Nuri at ITintheD.com.
So hey, we have Charlie Wahlberg's in the house. Charlie, I would say you have about 17 titles, but for today,
wasn't one of them fancy ketchup at one point?
No, that was someone. I think it was quite delicious. But you might know Charlie as one of the proprietors of TEDx Detroit. But Charlie's got a new business venture. We wanted to chat with him called Moka Boka. Thank you for coming out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Which has nothing. I thought it was either a shot or something to do with Florida
or coffee.
Yeah.
We said Moka Boka and Bora Bora.
What's George's dad say? Boka, it's the community. Boka Del Vista.
Oh yeah, Boka Del Vista.
Yes.
So I mean,
it's actually a retirement community we're running here in.
Oh, that sounds amazing. So I mean, you come out of the ad space. You've been doing a lot of cool things. Talk to me about what Moka Boka is, and I guess how it was born.
So I used to be cool and going to all the great events in Detroit. And
Then
I had kids, and so
it happens to the best of us.
And I love being a dad, but we're real big on stories.
It's like buying a house that is both the best and worst decision you will ever make in your life. Yeah,
it's funny. They can rile you up, and then when they go to sleep, you're like, oh, look at them, they're sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. You're so peaceful, and I no longer want to throw you out of the house. Yeah, it's amazing how that happens.
And they turn 14, and you're just like, do you even like me anymore?
No, we had that conversation. They start hate you from 14 to, and then when they hit 25, they realize you're cool again.
I was told
I
for
miss
my
Dad.
daughter,
I don't want to talk
for my
to
daughter.
you.
I'm told it was 14 to from 13 to 19, and then she'll come out of her room like me, but still hate mom for another 4 or 5 years. That's what I've been told. Which I'm banking. I'm banking on that anyhow.
So I've got a couple of young boys with great imaginations, and we read bedtime stories all the time. Where the wild things are,
right?
Our tagline was not tagline, but I'm in advertising, so
yeah.
As I leave for school, it's like your tagline. I always say, "I eat you up, I love you so."
Okay.
And all the Dr. Seuss's. So we exhausted the bookshelf, and they still want more. So we would start making up stories, and we've all done this. You make up stories to get your kids to calm down, to go to sleep. And the difference is we came up with an idea
just to get them to do what you want them to do. Yeah.
So little Timmy, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
No spoilers.
Segment 3.
Oh, sorry.
The entire premise of Elf on the Shelf. Just shut up and do what I want you to do.
Oh my God! Did you see who did Elf on a shelf today? Someone put it.
Yeah, I saw. Kill me.
I didn't watch the kids, but I know what the cat was doing.
Yeah, hide the cats. Hide the cats.
So took the bedtime stories that we were always doing, and I wanted to do a book on it. And my friend Paul Chambers, who you've had in here before, he's kind of like patient zero for IT and the D, I guess.
Taco Bell, yeah, he was on talking about the taco. He had the only person we knew in town that had the Taco Bell burner phone back in the day. So we had him on the show, and we tweeted Taco Bell the whole entire show, and it was our best performing show at the time. So yeah, Paul's kind of a living legend around the IT and the D ranks.
Yeah, and so
I don't know if he knows this or not either. Did anyone ever tell him?
I don't know, because like literally that was we literally sat there, and every dumb mission that they took, because he was the Taco Bell burner phone gave him. We would tweet at Taco Bell how dumb they were, and they kept I don't know if it was a bot or if they actually had somebody who just thought we were being funny, but Taco Bell kept retweeting every tweet we sent at them that night, and that was the first episode that ever broke 100,000 listeners.
And so after that incident, Paul actually died choking on a Cholito. So
I love Cholitos.
Chili cheese burrito.
Yeah, that was my college. That was my eats.
Yeah. I don't know what was in it, but it was good. You didn't want to. You don't ask questions with Taco Bell.
My one of my close friends wallpapered his dorm room at Eastern with Cholito wrappers. His whole entire room. Yeah. So
sauce packets would be a good wallpaper.
Exactly.
And then functional too. Should you run out?
Right. Got him handy.
Right.
So Moka Boka.
No, it's actually kind of a cool. Yeah, so it's actually kind of a cool thing, and to some degree, I wish we would have had you on earlier, just because we are so close to Christmas. But this is a cool gift idea for kids. Because it's not just a story.
Month, it's Christmas morning every month.
Yeah,
it's the continuing adventure. It's a saga, if you will.
Is this
no spoilers?
No, are you the first custom? I don't know that I don't want to say that obviously give up your competition, but I don't know that this exists. I've never heard of it.
Well, there are a lot of customized books out there. I don't know if there's a subscription where it's an ongoing cliffhanger.
Right, like having a 10 and 12-year-old, you'd think I would have come across this in my life. I get them Loot Crate. I was, I almost got them.
Well, no, it is because I've gotten personalized books for the kids before,
right.
around
Christmas. Well, I'm not talking the Disney crap
No,
yeah,
no, but putting their name in the story, that kind of stuff.
Like every year, Charlie, when we go to Disney, or when we went to Disney when the kids were 5, at Christmas they would get a book from Mickey Mouse that I would make in Shutterfly or wherever with all their pictures.
Thanks for ruining the magic.
No,
they don't know.
No, but it's
I thought Mickey sent me that.
They don't listen. They don't listen. They don't listen to the show.
Your kid's heart shatter right now.
Right? No, but I've there's been books where insert your kid's name into it, that kind of stuff. But
it was like bad direct mail.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Then
Hello,
one day,
your name.
Bob was walking down the street. It's in bold.
The chef from South Park. Hello, children.
It's like Mad Libs. Every other word's poop and
That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Mad Libs,
Totally.
right?
I love
modern
Mad
Libs.
Absolutely.
But give me an adjective. Give me an adjective. All right.
Right.
So this is the first one I've seen that's a subscription model that's ongoing.
So I had these stories, and I was thinking about doing a book. And Paul runs one of his many companies is called Gentleman's Box, which is a monthly subscription service.
Sorry, it's a great name.
Gentleman's Box.
What's in the Gentleman's Box?
The question a gentleman never tells. But it's a very popular subscription service based right here in Detroit. And you subscribe, and they send you ties and socks and money clips and really nice stuff in this box every month. So I'm always curious what's happening in Detroit. And he was telling me about his service, and I was telling him about the books. And it was kind of like a peanut butter and chocolate moment where, wait a minute, what if we took this and that together? Right. And so the idea was to take these stories and not just have them about my kids, but everyone's kids. The first word a kid can read is their own name. So, with those personalized books, the big thing is when they see their name, they get all excited.
Right.
Well, what if they saw
Magdalena and Annalisa did say no to that one.
Right.
My kids have crazy German names, so yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Exactly.
Ironically, his kid's first word that they could read was Jaeger.
True story.
Uncle.
No, actually, to put him to sleep.
Not to squirrel moment this, but my 12-year-old's first word was Bo, which is my wife's name, because every time I would change her diaper and it was a Duke, I would yell for my wife to come upstairs. So she looks at me. I unbutton it or on whatever the diaper or whatever you do to it, and I look up and she looks at me and she starts going, Bo. Never spoke a word before, and I said, I'm the worst father alive.
I know. Especially since I didn't say it till they were 12. That's
you're right, exactly. Yeah,
my 12-year-old's first word. What?
I remember. It's a very weird moment for a parent. We're driving to Chicago to see the Wild Kratts. I don't know if you guys ever suffered. It's a PBS show about two brothers who explore Zubumafu.
Okay.
Same guys who did Zubumafu. So we're taking my oldest son to meet the Wild Kratts in person. And it's a long drive to Chicago, and he's kind of zoning out. So I reach behind and grab his foot. And he screams, he says, "You scared the out of me." And my wife and I look at each other. "What'd you say?" You scared the out of me. And at the same time, you're kind of horrified, but proud because he used it right.
Right.
You
Because
know?
context.
Yes.
And
so
you're
his
trying to
first
hold your
cuss word,
giggle.
he nailed it, but...
Oh, it's like I will never forget. So my daughter, who's now 9, when she was 3, she loved and still loves the nachos, chips and cheese from Taco Bell.
Is that what nachos are?
Yeah. Well, she called them chips and cheese.
No, you can't order
That's what
nachos
Taco
now
Bell
because
calls
they,
them.
no, they
Yeah.
correct you now if you order nachos. You mean chips and cheese?
Well, so yeah, she always called them chips and cheese.
No, totally.
Is that like trademarked or something?
But she hates having, like, she can't stand having her hands dirty. She's kind of like got an OCD thing going on because my kid, go figure. But she got like a little like spot of cheese on her thumb, and like I will never forget looking at her as she's looking at her thumb, and she just kind of goes, "Oh shit." And like I fell over laughing because I mean you can't help yourself, and I'm like. Yeah,
you did it right though.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so proud of you.
Right. Well, but this is the same daughter who this year I mentioned to her because I'm an idiot that they were making Frozen 2. And she was like, "Oh, well, can we go see it?" I'm like, "They're just making it. It's not going to be out for a while." And she looks at me deadpan. She's like, "Oh shit." And I was like, "What?" Oh no, she said, "Holy shit." And I said, "Wait, what?" And she said, "Holy crap." And I went, no, try again. She went, "Holy mackerel? Is mackerel a bad word?" Like I don't even know where she. I don't know where she heard. I'm like, no, you're good with holy mackerel. Stick with that one.
No, she almost shit bricks. You shouldn't say that. All right, shit rocks.
My youngest thinks the S word is "shut up." So that's great when he tattles on
good space. Good space.
Someone used the S word today at school.
So is this like
class?
Yeah.
So bad segue. Is this? Are you? So can you Mad Libs your books and add adjectives, or is it simply the names, or what? I guess what's the process?
So we really wanted kids to see themselves in the book. So you pick the name, you pick the skin tone, you pick the hairstyle, the hair color, and then you pick the relationship between the two kids.
So it's like picking. It's like picking your character in Xbox One game.
Yes.
Like, okay.
It's coming up with a Bitmoji or a me. You can customize it a bit, but it's mass customization. So then we do build the book like a Mad Lib. We write the story and just leave the characters out. And whether they're brother and sister or cousins or neighbors, you put this together. And now the other thing in the school is some of the heroes in the book will match whatever the look of your child is. So they're seeing themselves as the heroes of the book throughout. So we think that's a really nice innovation. But I grew up watching the old Batman TV show. So,
right.
Every show ended with, "Will Batman and Robin get away? Tune in, same bat time, same bat channel."
A lot of Biff Pow thwack.
Well, absolutely. So if you look at this book, we have those sound effect words throughout.
Okay.
And the last page is the series of questions. Who's behind the door?
Nice.
Who's Fritz Prinkle Stinkle McWrinkle? So we want the idea is that Christmas morning comes every month that, oh, hey, it's not Bill's, it's a letter for me, and they open it up and it has the book.
Clark, it's the gift that just keeps giving all year.
The Jelly of the Month Club. Yes.
And how long is it before you get the next book?
A month.
Okay,
Yes.
so you get it's a year-long subscription.
It's month to month. So
it's
whenever you want
month.
to tap out, tap out.
But every single one
only if
leaves
you're
you
a bad parent.
Yeah, I
you would
know.
tap
It leaves you on
out.
a cliffhanger every single month.
Is this thing going to go forever? No, I mean if I subscribe to my kids.
I think you're gonna. We're gearing it to 3 years old to 8 years old. So
I mean, but
Honey, happy wedding day. Here's your book.
But if we go for 5 years,
will he get married? Will he not?
Well, the nice thing for us is, every time someone comes in, they're starting back at book one because it's continuing adventure.
Okay.
So I don't think we will write more than 5 years of books, but at this point, we kind of have a 2-year arc.
You have that one 87-year-old woman that just enjoyed it so much.
What
it keeps
happened?
Exactly.
The Stinkle McWrinkle.
See, God damn, we got to keep writing.
So, and I guess that's a good question. Like, how are you planning for like economy of scale? Like, I mean, so like, are like how many folks are you planning on supporting with this, and what do you do if it goes bigger than what you have planned for?
We've actually got a pretty neat system. So I write the books and come up kind of the general story and outline a few books ahead. We have a local illustrator, Dan Lawless, who does a fabulous job bringing the story to life.
I heard that name. Yeah, okay.
He's a storyboard artist, works with a lot of agencies, worked for Marvel a little bit.
Okay, that's
Maybe
probably
seen
why.
some of his work. And then we basically are doing a massive Mad Libs and putting the books together. In InDesign, we kind of built this algorithm to put them together. We print them locally. So the biggest challenge from our end is, normally with books, the first one's very expensive. Copy 1,000 gets cheaper. This one, we're always printing book 1. So, but we print them here in Madison Heights, and then we ship them out. And so every month, the story continues.
So good, local based kind of thing.
The artwork's great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I like. Simple. It's good.
Am I going to look at this like Facebook, though? Because I go on Facebook and I look at someone's life and I'll be like, man, their life is so much more amazing than mine. Am I going to read a story about myself and go, man, my life is so much more cool.
I'm so much cooler in this book.
In the Toy Bot Takeover. So much more cool.
I once battled Fritz Dinkle Pinkle McWrinkle.
That is a real I thought he was being funny. What's behind the door? Who is Fritz Pinkle Stinkle McWrinkle? That is an actual character, which would make the adults laugh. So you got to have that like toys. Like all the cartoons, the Pixar cartoons, where you put 80s music in to make like the parents, okay, fine, it's good because they're singing "Dream On," and I'll go take my stupid kids to see it.
I'll go see the pigs singing.
I'm kind of wishing. I mean, when I was married once before, and I had a stepdaughter, and I used to read to her every night. I'm kind of wishing that this kind of thing had been around for her because she was so excited to hear all these stories, these strange adventures of Narnia and things like that.
Charlie,
to have one where she was in it would have been so much more cool, I think.
Charlie did a bad thing.
Uh-oh.
He dropped a Star Wars line. The what was in every Star Wars movie ever except for
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, right there. Which makes every dad reading going
not
because we're trying to entertain the parents at all. These are for the family. And in book 3 we have a big segment about dodgeball. The kids have to dodge, duck.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge.
And that line is the 5 laws of dodging as they're getting away from the octo tanks that are firing cannonballs. The kids have to, have a couple lines from dodgeball mixed in there. So there's a lot of pop culture references. This isn't literature. This is fun. This is an ongoing.
We're not writing a critically acclaimed novel here.
But we don't want to be the best book. We want to be their favorite book.
Right.
So how do we rate compared to Frank Beckman? You were just on WJR.
Yeah, Frank.
That's kind of cool.
We got to stand for 2 segments. He was really enamored with these. Like every grandparent in America is going to want this for their kids. So it's nice. We do a little dedication in the front where you print a picture of the family and you get to do a little dedication. So it kind of puts a little moment in time, which is nice.
Okay.
And then every book comes with a blank book. And that was really an innovation from my kids. Paul and I were looking at paper samples. So we had just all these different books strewn across the table trying to check out paper stocks. And my son and Paul's daughter grabbed one of the samples and started coloring. And we were like, ah! And then a light bulb went off.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And my kids are waking up every morning with, oh, Dad, you should use gumdrops to stop Stinkle McWrinkle in the next book. They're always coming up with new ideas.
But Charlie, do you realize that?
So there's the dirty secret. It's all about child labor.
No,
absolutely.
Charlie, do you realize I buy a half a dozen blank comic books every 2 months for my kid to make her she makes cartoons and gives them to kids at school.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think it's cool too, but like I have to go. She was doing them on like regular paper, and I go, they got these things on Amazon, and I ordered them the like nice ones. But now the fact that you have this makes it even better, easier. I don't know what else the word is, but yeah, kids love that crap. Kids love that crap. That should be your tagline.
Moka Boka. Kids love that crap.
Kids love that crap. So the obvious question. So how much does this monthly subscription cost?
So it's $19 a month.
Okay.
It's month to month. You can quit anytime, but you won't if you're a good
because
father.
I would say, or else you're a bad parent. Yeah.
Dad, what happened to the story?
That's one book, 2 book.
One book, 2 book,
$20. And that's 1 book, 2 book, and the blank book.
It's 124-page. Fully illustrated book with your kids in it, and then the blank book.
Okay.
Again, it costs a bit more than a regular book because we're printing these one at a time.
Sure.
They're customized for your kids. But we tried to find a nice balance between it's cheaper than the normal customized book. It's a little more expensive than the normal, little golden book. But it's something your kids are going to love, and it's something you're going to want to keep. Kind of presses the pause button so you can remember. These moments when we're sharing the story. Oh, remember the story I used to read to you about you?
Remember? Exactly. That's right. Train the kids on member berries. So I guess that's a good question is, when it comes to personalization, do you take Like, hey, I'd really like this story to involve, or is it just this is the story and it's the Mad Lib version of it?
This is one arc going.
Gotcha.
It's like being married. I tell my wife all the time all things I would like, and you don't really get that. You get the one story,
right?
So,
Because if it was Mad Lib, I would put in all potty words, and that just can't happen. It'd just be bad.
Yeah, you don't get to be in charge of the books. No, we're well aware. Yeah.
So, book 1 is the Toy Bot takeover. The kids wake up in a toy factory, and they have to stop the bad guy. Book 2 is the Pickle Panic. Book 3 is the Octopus Onslaught. Book 4 is the Candy Coaster. So we're real big on alliteration, and how long I can keep that going before I run out of words.
Interesting.
But we're 4 books in, and it's going great. So
awesome.
I kind of like it.
Thank you for spending time with us.
Well, where do we find you?
Yeah, how do we find you online?
Boka.com.
So, and it's MOKABOKA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not alcohol; it's a children's book. Just or it's
right.
not a Florida
shot,
destination.
It's not a drink. Don't go to your local bar and ask for a Moka Boka.
And you can find us in all the usual places: mokaboka.com, Moka Book on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram.
Wherever fine children's books are sold.
Yeah. Starbucks is not serving up a Moka Boka.
Yeah. Charlie, we appreciate you coming out and spending your Monday night with us, and we also appreciate hanging out for the Rogue One conversation we will be having at segment 3. This is the IT and the D Show, and we will be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Welcome back, segment 3. This is episode 176, the pre-Christmas holiday, all the celebration things episode.
Christmas, Kwanzaa,
Happy Christmas, Hanukkah.
Whatever you are celebrating, happy that. This is.
I stayed at that resort when we went to Hawaii. Kamanawanalea.
Yeah. Bob kept hitting on me. I don't know why.
It's Bob the sales guy hanging out with Dave the Geek. Nuri the FNG stepped out because we're talking Star Wars.
Why? Because
we're talking Star Wars. We're hanging out in Studio One Podcast, Detroit, beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Find us online, ITintheD.com, because we are IT in the D, and you
just had a conversation this weekend.
Good.
You still are not.
Good luck, Skip. Good luck with that, Spanky.
Yeah.
We love you.
So hey, here's the deal. Before we dive in, so have you ever been watching a movie? Like we did,
I have.
and gone, well, why don't they just fix the problem like that? Well, of course, the answer is because, well, there wouldn't be a movie. But so tech pioneer VMware said, screw that. We're going to take this what if and turn it into a podcast. So they dropped a couple of IT guys. Sounds familiar. Kind of Men in Black style with an old school veteran and a young hotshot and some of the most classic sci-fi movies ever, like Star Wars, The Matrix, Terminator. They say and Tron, meaning that Tron isn't a classic, but I really want to take them to task about that because, well, it's Tron and it's amazing.
Absolutely a classic.
But so the way they get in there and expose some of Hollywood's biggest technology plot holes while having a lot of fun at the original writers and directors' expense is really clever and funny. So plus they've got a great supporting cast, including one of the best Jeff Goldblum impressions you've ever heard in the Independence Day episode. So that alone is probably worth it. The podcast is called IT is Greater Than Sci-Fi, and all 8 episodes of the series are live right now at vmware.com/radius/sci-fi. And if that's too complicated for you, we have them on the Podcast Detroit Network and site as well. You can also download from iTunes, SoundCloud, and the usual suspects, or as we like to say, wherever fine podcasts are sold. It's the best thing you'll listen to all week, besides us.
Damn straight. To me, I listen to it. It's almost like watching Grand Moff Tarkin in CGI. That they're so it's so well done. Like you're just concentrating on how well done it is. That is one of the best podcasts of production wise that I've ever listened to. But yeah, definitely give it a listen. So if you haven't listened to all, this is a spoiler. I'm going to throw it out once again. It's a spoiler, and we're not talking about the back of Dave's Mustang. This is we've seen Rogue One twice, and we're gonna break down. I had a Porsche Whaletail on my '88 Mustang Notchback in high school. Hashtag that guy. Yeah, with kickers in the trunk. Oh, it was so bad.
My best friend had a Porsche Whaletail on his 77 Trans Am.
Now, see, I had a buddy, Ray, who lived down the street from me, who was a Volkswagen freak. He had the Volkswagen Bug with the Rolls-Royce front end and the Porsche.
Oh, come on!
And the Porsche engine dropped into it with the whale tail on the back. So,
I had a Pontiac Sunfire that I was just happy to have. I got to see my girlfriend.
Yes, if you have not seen Rogue One, now is the time to turn off this episode because we're going to dive in and get icky and sticky. And
Vader is Luke's father.
So I've seen it twice. Once on Thursday with you clowns.
Yep.
And then Sunday in 3D with the shaking seats with my kids.
Okay.
Okay, how was it in 3D? Because there were a few scenes where I was like, this would look good in 3D.
There was only 4 scenes that I was like, holy shit, it's amazing. And that was like the X-Wing fighter scenes. And they added like you were sitting in the X-Wing where like the focus part was on like the front of the ship.
Okay. Right.
And the rest of it was kind of like you were like in the driver's seat.
So was it like when they were dropping out of hyperspace, that kind of stuff?
No, or they were flying around the Star Destroyer.
Okay.
I mean, we had the same vantage point in the 2D version. It was just
but this one was like
it felt like
wow.
You were in. Okay.
What I hated though,
honestly, like that's what killed The Force Awakens for me when we saw that in 3D. Was the space scenes.
No, this one
because it was like they all looked like little toys, and I was like, meh.
No, and I watched it for that because I know you keep talking about it. And there's only one time with a TIE fighter, and I looked at it and I thought about it. And I'm like, it doesn't bother me. But what bothered me was in 3D the dialogue scenes where that's
just put that mic anywhere, Calvin.
The dialogue scenes where it would be super focused on the person talking, and anyone else in the shot was like super out of focus.
Gotcha. So it's got like that selective focus thing going on.
But I mean, like to the 90th degree. It wasn't even close to like being an average scene. It was only like one person was. Did you follow what I'm saying? Did you see it in 3D, Charlie?
I didn't see it in 3D. No.
Like one person would be amazingly in focus. Then it was like it was so out of focus, like they were out of the scene. Like the only thing you could see was that one person talking.
It's the selective focus thing, and I get that. So I guess let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
Because
a long time ago
in a galaxy far, far away.
Right. So we have a historian on today.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
So I saw Thursday with the guys, and then Sunday with the kids, and so the first comment from the kids was, okay, so a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away flashes up on the screen, and then it jumps immediately to action. Both kids look at me, 7 and 9.
Where's the scroll?
And go, where's the music? This can't be Star Wars. There's no music.
And where's the goosebumps? Where's the holy shit? Where's
the nerdgasm? Yeah, because that's we've talked about that.
I was amazed. There were in the theater I was in. There were no applause for the Lucasfilm logo in the last couple movies. I've heard that,
dude. I was stunned. So we were there 7:30 Thursday night. The theater was
half
2/3 empty.
Well,
yeah.
I think people are trained that they know that movie's going to run every half an hour on 4 different theaters in every theater.
But episode 7, it was packed.
Right.
No, and we were at the same 7:30 show
nuts.
in that same theater.
But you have us that are going to see it day one. Then you have other people go like, I'll wait till the crowds die down. Especially during Christmas, I hate crowds. Can eat my ass, literally, not figuratively.
It's well established that I hate people in movie theaters. That's why I don't see movies.
Well, that's why you don't sit next to me. It's funny. Dave knows I yell in the theater at like funny parts, or like I'll nudge people when like shit's good, and like so he'll sit. There'll be 6 of us in the theater. He'll sit like is he seat 1, I'm seat 6, and he makes it a point.
I will tell you. Okay,
it's
so
Imagine is great though for antisocial people because you can reserve their big armchairs.
Yep.
But the thing about this movie is while Star Wars coming out right now, it seems pervasive, and you're seeing the advertising and all those kinds of things. The advertising for this is not all encompassing like it was for The Force Awakens. Okay, The Force Awakens is part of the original storyline that we all know. It came out and there was advertising for everything. There was things to complain about and say, oh, they don't have a Rey action figure. What's the problem with that?
I disagree. I think there was actually too much advertising for Rogue One. It was like, come on, we get it. There's Star Wars coming out.
There was nowhere. I felt there was nowhere to the degree that we saw for Force Awakens. I mean, everything was Force Awakens. I mean, whether it was going to get your tires changed and there was a Force Awakens advertising at Bell Tire for some strange reason.
Here's the thing.
It's pronounced.
Bell Tire. I don't think they wanted you to get too wrapped up in the characters because they were all biting it.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, with this one,
we said spoilers, so I'm not worried about a damn thing I'm saying.
That's the thing. You're constrained.
Their tagline was, don't get too attached.
Right. Right. Well, no, so I mean, that's like, to
that
me,
would be more honest trailer,
that was
right?
one of the
honest
issues
trailers.
for me is that, so, okay, you've painted yourself into a box because you've said, all right, it happens between episode 3 and episode 4, A New Hope. And as it turns out, it literally happens right before A New Hope. Like the ending of Rogue One is 3 minutes before A New Hope starts.
3.9.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, okay, so you know that any character that's in this is not in the future movies, so they gonna die. You know,
unless George Lucas goes back and plays around with it again.
But George Lucas has nothing. He's out. He's out. He took his $4 billion check and went home to play.
As would I.
Yeah, exactly.
True story.
I went to the Thursday night show with my 9-year-old to watch it, and I said, were you upset that everyone died? And he said, yeah, I was really upset. And I said, well, they kind of had to do that because the characters aren't in episode 4. He's like, well, I understand, but I thought maybe they had this great mission, so they just took some time off to do other things.
They took a sabbatical.
Yeah.
We didn't have to kill them.
Oh, the mind of a child.
Right.
Hold on, Calvin. Okay, the one thing, and I'm just going to get right into the meat, is they closed the 40-year-old. Like we've been talking about this since Thursday.
The entire purpose. Now the debate.
Why did they go Rogue One first? This is why. To shut up Star Wars fanboys going, how could a goddamn torpedo blow up a whole goddamn moon, planet, starship base?
It's a great explanation, though.
And they
explain
it
100%.
And they make it so crystal
plausible.
Clear.
It's completely plausible.
Totally. And you didn't even question it.
Right.
But then they had the next biggest plot hole. When you went all this way to redeem yourself, and then you ruin it by putting 3PO and R2 on the floor.
On Yavin, that's the one that jumped out at me was,
and that didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, so here's I posted this the day we saw it. My concern now is that all Star Wars movies moving forward, because Episode 7 did it and now Rogue One has done it, are going to follow the same recipe, which is here's some member berries to get you rolling. Here's the
remember pig face guy.
Exactly.
I said he's wanted on 12. Hold on.
No, I'm gonna finish my recipe.
God damn it.
Then here's this movie's cutesy droid. Which in this case might as well have been Bender from Futurama.
He's not that cute. He's witty.
Yeah,
he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Why? Hold on. And why would a reprogrammed Imperial droid have wit?
We'll get into that in a minute.
Bananas.
Then let it bake for 80 minutes. And then smother with member berries with the big character reveal at the end, because Episode 7 it was Luke, Rogue One it was Leia, and then serve. So now, all the to do is about the Han Solo one that's coming out. I don't need to see it now. Why? Because I know, based on that formula, that the last 4 minutes of the Han Solo movie will be him rescuing Chewbacca, because that'll be the big character reveal.
But we're also talking about that going. Can you really be upset?
You don't know the Han Solo movie, though?
No,
we knew Rogue One.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like watching Gotham. It's like, hey, you know what? I know that Bruce Wayne can't die because he becomes Batman. I know that Mr. Freeze is going to get away with this for now because he's Batman's arch nemesis in this. So things are the way they are when you're going back in time. So if we're talking about young Han Solo, he's going to figure everything out because he doesn't die until The Force Awakens. So if you're
him and Lando, you're going to find out how he got the Millennium Falcon gambling.
We cast young Gamma.
Right.
I don't understand.
Gambling
I don't understand
Lando.
going in knowing what it's going to be and then complaining about what it is when you go see it. Well, just don't go see it if you're going to complain about what you know it already is.
I mean, spoiler alert: many Bothans died to make this.
No, that's
Return of the Jedi.
Wrong.
That's what I didn't
That would be
understand
episode
about this.
5.5.
That's what I didn't understand about this. That's what I thought going in was that line.
No,
And my
the
friend was like, no, that's
Bothans
Return of the
died
Jedi.
to get the plans for the second Death Star.
too.
Yeah. So
Return of the
So
Jedi.
when I went, I was like, they all die. You know that. They said it in the first
5.9.
movie.
I had to school my 7-year-old nephew on that yesterday because he said, "Where are the Bothans in this one?" I go, "That was Return of the Jedi." He goes, "Oh,
I've never seen three nerds get so excited.
Wrong. I didn't know that. I'm with you on that. I was thinking that, and my friend was like, no, that's Return of the Jedi. And he corrected me. He looked it up he Googled it. And I was like, I'm honestly thinking that the movie makers were wrong on it and just kind of went with it.
I think it's so
so for the ginormous Star Wars nerd in the room. So this was always the origin of Rogue Squadron, which to one point I was a little miffed that they didn't bring like Wedge Antilles into it, who had a bigger character, had a bigger force in.
I don't know any of the
A
characters'
New
names.
Hope and that.
come on!"
kind of
Did you
stuff.
mark out Gold 5, Red 5?
Well, so yeah,
Gold Leader.
so we saw Red 5 dies in the attack, which is how
Red 5 blowing up.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Red 5 blowing up. So,
no, but like Luke's.
so that's how Luke gets that call sign.
But Luke in Empire was Rogue 2, which seemed odd to me. Yeah, when he was with Dak, like
in the
speeder, he was Rogue 2.
Different squadron.
Right, but
No,
the Rogue One was made up by the Imperial pilot, the defector. I just watched Empire
I
on
just
TNT.
did not pay this
he
close
just
attention.
said it.
Did
He
make up
just
Rogue
said
One.
it. Yeah, he made up Rogue One. So
He made up Rogue One in the
that's
movie.
that's true, but I don't know about
Luke called out Rogue 2 when the whole grenade in the bottom of the AT-AT. So Dave's gone now for a half an hour. We're like, looks up on Google.
I think it's so
that it was
rough.
adopted as a real call sign later.
Today, how did people watch movies without IMDb?
Oh my God! Every movie
We
I
just
watched.
didn't know things. Like if someone was wrong about something, we just didn't know it.
So every movie
you would have needed Tyrion Lannister with you at all times because he would drink and know things.
Every movie I watch with my wife, we have to talk about how old everyone is in the movies. Like, oh my God, did you know that so and so was like 47?
No, he flew as Rogue Leader on Hoth.
His ship was
and called out to Rogue 2.
Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
I said Rogue.
I'm on Wikipedia. there is no greater source for Star Wars nonsense than
Sounds
Wikipedia.
like fake news to me.
He said Rogue 2 style,
like
whatever he
fake news,
said. But anyway, like that. Why did that exist when Rogue One was made up? That's another question.
So there's, all right. So here's my nerd wang. So there is between A New Hope and Jedi, who the person that was Rogue One, which is Wedge Antilles, went off and did other stuff for the rebellion and wasn't really designated rogue because they were off doing their own thing. So and gave it over to Luke to do that's why I thought it was wrong because I thought I remembered from the Expanded Universe books that's what the scoop was. So yeah,
You were sounding like one of those guys who read those Expanded Universe books and then got upset when they were all erased.
Dude, I'm in the author's notes of 3 of them. Yes, I was mad when they got erased.
You are that guy.
But they're
Don't
not
be that
erased
guy.
because they rip out one page and it's dun 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 like Vanilla Ice said.
Okay,
It's
now, to back up, hey, what is it without the music? What is it without the scroll? It just jumps right into the action. I do think, and here's my thoughts on this. I think when you have the Han Solo movie come out, that's how they're going to differentiate these films from the official Star Wars film.
But then
we're not going to have the scroll.
But here's my issue.
But even though the music was still done by Michael Giacchino,
so if you don't want to be
Star Wars movie,
if you don't want to be Star Wars, if you're going to say we don't want the crawl, we don't want the music, we want to be something different, then stop with the freaking member berry sprinkled cameos.
Disagree. The saga just means it's part of the Skywalker lineage. This movie wasn't the Skywalker lineage. This was a side story.
Totally agree, but if you're not going to be quote unquote a Star Wars movie because you're not going to have the crawl and the music and all the stuff that goes along with that, then don't have 3PO and R2.
Blue
don't
milk.
have Evazan and Pangababa don't have.
You need the nods. Your inner geek didn't smile just a little bit with the member berries?
Honestly, I went, no, hold on. I totally did.
Because
I love the
it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing that they did with The Force Awakens, okay? So that's why you're upset about it.
No, because The Force Awakens...
that was a giant box of member berries.
No. And here's why it's different, because I've said before...
Okay.
To me, like Rogue Squadron actually made me appreciate Episode 7 more because
Rogue One.
Did I not say
Rogue Squadron?
Yeah, so Rogue One made me appreciate Episode 7 more. So Episode 7 did what it had to do. It was a half an hour of member berries. It was a half an hour of look how cute and funny our writers are with their little one-liners, because we had those in the old movies. And then it was the setup for the future movies. So it had to be that.
But 7 had the Martha.
Rogue One... There's no future. Well, there is a future movie. It's Episode 4. Like I love the tweet that I saw from someone that's like, the worst part of Rogue One is that now I have to wait till 1977 for the sequel to come out.
That is a good one.
But Force Awakens had the Martha moment where you can't get past it, and it drives me bananas, and the whole movie suffers because of
I totally got past that. I did.
No, because if she would have just found a normal ship and then maybe ran into the whole Millennium Falcon running into Han in 10 seconds.
You didn't scream with glee when it was the Falcon?
I was like, come on.
Oh, come on. Okay, I was 12 when that I went from being an old man to being 12 when I saw that Falcon.
But how did Han Solo not know the Falcon was right underneath him? It was only like 3 seconds in space,
Dave, here's a question I have to ask, though, because we're talking about a Star Wars story. Okay?
Yes.
So because it is a Star Wars story, that's why I think they're differentiating without the scroll, without the music at the very beginning, jumping right in. The music was there later on throughout the film.
Yeah.
It was there. But I think they're trying to differentiate. This is not part of. I mean, it's canon, but it's not part of the saga, right? So,
which I'm cool with. I don't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
Here's my question for you. If you're gonna be upset about it, and be what do you want? I mean, do you want a completely removed Star Wars story that has no nods whatsoever to anything? How
do you not have any member berries though when it's right leading up to 4? There's got to be something in there.
Well, I mean,
those Easter eggs are what make me excited to be
Han
there.
Solo, the only member berry I can think of is him winning the Millennium Falcon in the card game. Okay,
yeah.
I could see that happening as young Han Solo. Okay, so beyond that, we have no idea what's going to happen with this story that I know.
Jabba will show up. I assure you, Jabba will show up.
18-year-old Jabba the Hutt.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see some of that.
That
but
looks great. It's lost a little weight.
I mean, what would you?
Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher looked great in Rogue One, by the way.
Do you want something
she looked terrible? That CG humans were terrible.
The one guy who was completely CGI,
that was dead. That's been dead for Tarkin looked phenomenal.
Those were the two. No, those were the two worst moments of this movie. They ruined when Moff comes or Governor Tarkin comes on and talks.
It
took me out of the narrative. Because the rest of the performances were spot on. The casting of this movie is impeccable.
Didn't you have to have a minute though?
You could have recast it.
I don't think you could have.
Who are we going to have?
At that point, we're
James Franco.
If it wouldn't have been 3.9, if it would have been like 3.1, you could have recast him. Because then you could have had someone that looked a little bit younger. But
old
still
men look remarkably similar.
But my question
is, there's no Death Star for old men.
How far removed from the Star Wars canon do you want to be for a Star Wars story to stand on its own?
No, you're missing my point. If they're gonna do it, then do it. Like if you're gonna be in the Star Wars universe, then be in the Star Wars universe.
Which I felt this movie was.
And roll with it.
You mean to tell me, though, the blue milk distributor couldn't have crossed planets?
It had Princess Leia. It had R2-D2.
It had blue milk.
It had...
but it
had a lightsaber at the end.
Honestly,
finally.
So Leia...
I didn't even miss the lightsaber until it was a nice...
I was really upset about the lightsaber not being there till the end, but that was just
no. So is it Donnie Yen?
But it made sense when I thought about it.
The Guardian of the Wills.
God, I don't know his name. Yeah.
One of the things
you might
Morgan.
Yeah, exactly, Morgan. It's a lightsaber on the end of his stick.
Is it?
They are the guardians of the wills. They are the ones
they
who
work better when you turn them on.
Exactly.
I missed that. Okay,
so
cool.
it probably had the kyber crystal yanked out of it. But so that was like they're the guys that guarded that Jedi temple. That it was the source of the kyber crystals.
Yeah.
That's where the Jedi came to like form their lightsabers and all that shit.
But that was another thing that got we didn't know.
They glossed over. They totally. So and that was the big thing to me with this movie was that they wasted, I thought, so much time on throwaway stuff that they didn't really get into or follow up on as well as they should have. And if they would have gotten rid of some of that nonsense and actually built into or built up the characters more, I might have actually given a crap when they died. Because, like, I'm sorry, that ending beach scene was supposed to be like a really touching moment. I gave no shits.
I felt more
at
connection to Sandra Bullock at the end of Deep Impact when they did the same scene.
Exactly. Like that's like there was just nothing there. Like Forrest Whitaker.
Was it Sandra Bullock in Deep Impact?
No, that was Taya Leone.
Taya Leone. Sorry, all right.
So yeah, they're interchangeable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we know Calvin. All white girls look alike.
Sorry. Yeah, they do.
And they all fine as hell. But no, so like Forrest Whitaker. As far as I'm concerned, Forrest Whitaker could have not been in that movie.
I know.
Right.
What
because
the hell?
It went from, 15 years ago, here's him rescuing the girl, to flash forward to he's portrayed as this super paranoid, recluse, trust no one, Fox Mulder of the Star Wars universe, and yet
slightly like Osama bin Laden, but we need him.
Dude, did you catch
he was a leader of the extremists?
He's a splinter faction, and they're all wearing turbans, and that got a little political.
It was not lost on me.
I like when he peeked in the hatch. It took me right back to Lost.
Well, so
why do you find it so hard? Why do you find it so easy?
Yeah, so there was that.
Oh, Man of Science, Man of Faith.
Yes, yeah.
Great episode. All right, anyhow.
But then then this girl that he hasn't seen in 5 to 7 years, depending on your interpretation of the timeline, shows up and sure, you can have the memory card, you can have the pilot, you can have, even though I think you might be sent here to kill me, and by the way, I have AT-AT feet now, and I bought Anakin's old respirator off of eBay. Apparently, there's no explanation there.
No, the biggest misplaced prop in the whole movie is, we are hiding from the Empire, but let's buy our daughter a stuffed stormtrooper.
We know Death Star gift shop.
Yeah,
because they were actually on the Death Star for a while.
To get off the Death Star, you have to exit through the gift shop.
That's right. It's like every Disney ride. You have to go through the gift shop.
Charlie, did you catch the Spaceballs reference?
No.
In Rogue One? Hang on, Calvin. Hang on. Did you catch the...
whose ass was too big?
No. Tarkin basically flat out goes, then is now, we must act. And basically, when will then be now? The way he phrased it, I don't know if that's the exact quote.
I could literally see the vein bulging on Bob's head because he wanted to scream out, soon!
I didn't do it. No, you know why I didn't do it? Because the only grown man dressed as a Jedi sat directly next to me.
Oh, it was amazing.
And I'm usually the guy that...
Dave Phillips.
I'm usually the guy that yells out soon at moments like that, or when they jam the radars, I yell raspberry.
Well, because we mocked the trailers.
Correct.
We mocked all during the trailers.
But the problem is when they ran into Pigface and Walrus Man, and
Dr. Evazan and
he leans over to me and goes, says, he's wanted on 12 systems. And at that point, I was like, I'm nothing. I will say nothing this entire movie, and it ruined it for me. So at least when I was with my kids, I could yell a couple things.
Nice, you were that dad.
I feel like we all need to go, and I need to go with people who have watched the Expanded Universe or read the Expanded Universe novels.
Okay,
see how
I've never read one of them.
All right, so we've been bagging a lot. It's a good movie. Give me 3 things you loved about the movie.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it sucked. I'm not saying light it on fire.
The Return of Diego Luna.
That you loved.
Diego Luna.
I thought, number one, the whole thing about closing the plot hole.
Yes.
With the Death Star and the plans and the whole, that was phenomenal.
I felt like Dorkley did that way better, though.
True.
Dorkley did it way better.
I liked that they brought, just from a continuity perspective, I liked that they brought back Red Leader and Gold Leader using B-roll footage that was never shown, or in some way was shown, but
which makes me more pissed that they use CGI for.
Yeah, because they use
they're in space, Charlie. The whole thing's CGI.
No, it's not. It's real.
Let's see, a third one. You know what?
And again,
this is one of those continuity things. I like the addition of. In some cases they brought it closer to A New Hope because the remaining plot hole is you have all this great technology that showed up in episodes 1, 2, and 3. Clones and different ships and all that stuff that isn't there in A New Hope.
There was a clone tank. Did you notice that? Right almost in the beginning of Rogue One?
Yeah.
That there was a repurposed, there's just like a transport.
Yep.
It was when they were in prison or whatever, when she was in prison. Yeah.
So this got a little bit closer to that when, you go there and they're like, the Death Star plans are stored on magnetic tapes. And so,
LTO. Looked like a zip drive.
Yeah, an Iomega zip drive, yeah.
Or Jazz. That was a Jazz.
No, it was IBM LTO. Let's get it right.
Right. They made it, a little bit closer to, we're using older technology here. But that's also a downside because now you're right before A New Hope, and yet the Y-Wings, Gold Leader, looked radically different than they look in A New Hope.
Indeed.
So, that's an issue to me. You have all these the U-Wings and all these other ships that are there flying around that you never see. Like, they introduced new stuff that isn't there in A New Hope moving forward.
But
it's not like they lost the plans to make those ships. So where did those plans go?
I give them credit though. I give them credit though for using the really simplistic buttons and the Atari Death Star plans. Like they repurposed that.
The one thing that jumped out at me the second time that I didn't notice the first time is I can't remember. I keep blanking on his name. Donnie Yen, his sidekick, Baze, yeah,
the big Samoan guy.
So they
were great.
You got to call the task for calling him Samoan. The sight on his gun that showed him the charges and all that stuff remaining was straight out of the old Atari Star Wars game. Straight out of.
That's awesome.
So it's the whole thing with like the charges remaining and before your gun overheats, that was straight out of that.
I feel like when that shows up in one of those Facebook things, like 25 things you might have missed in the Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'll be like, I was on the podcast with Dave. I didn't miss that shit.
Well, Dave thought there was a Wampa.
It's a Wampa.
No, I googled it and it was a guy from some planet that looks like a Wampa with long hair.
So it's
a
Wampa. So it's a hippie Wampa.
Yeti. Yeah.
What are your 3 things, Calvin? 3 things you loved. More Jägermeister.
Why you gotta ask me that? 3 things I liked about the movie, 3 things I loved about the movie was I felt like it was, and this is a good thing, I felt like it was the first Star Wars movie that was actually a war movie. Okay, it was very much like, and I hate to denigrate anything that Steven Spielberg has done, especially when comparing it to the movie I'm about to. I feel like it was mashing up a Star Wars movie with Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Leia.
No, see, I went Black Hawk Down. Because that was one of the things that people didn't get was people were like,
I caught that too.
They were jumping around from planet to planet, and I'm like, well, but if you go back and you look at like Battle of Midway or like any of the old classic war movies, that's how they establish. It's always. The little ticker tape, here we are at this base, and that's exactly
that was the first time Star Wars ever did that.
I guess I went for the most emotionally trying war movie that I've seen in recent years was Saving Private Ryan. Right. So I wasn't trying to go for which war movie is it most?
No, it was no Band of Brothers, but it was a war movie.
Band of Brothers, what a great series.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and the Pacific, which a lot of people slept on. But anyway.
Segment 3 next week, we will do Band of Brothers.
Right, which gets into the reshoots.
Let's come back to that.
So I really liked the fact that it was the first Star Wars movie, in my opinion, that was an actual war movie. I liked the nods. I liked the nods to the larger Star Wars universe where you had C-3PO there. I like the member berries. That's just what I like. I think they're
delicious.
Fun.
I would have been fine without seeing them. Right. I knew where he was in 4. I don't need to see him.
Right.
I knew how he got made. I don't.
I would have rather seen him on the blockade runner.
Totally.
But I also like the fact that, and you know this walking in as well, that they were characters who did not survive because it allowed them to tell a story. Yes, you had certain constraints. Yes, you have to get the plans. We know they're going to get the plans. We know it ends well, at least for the rebellion later on, right? But it's telling this self-contained story where these characters, there's a lot of freedom to do what you want to do with these characters, obviously within confines, but there's a lot of freedom within those boundaries to do what you want with these characters. I thought that was a really cool thing. Like Dave said, the flip side of that is, are you going to do enough that I care enough about this character by the time they die? Because I care more about Han Solo dying in Force Awakens because he was in, the first, second, and third Star Wars.
Yeah, you had a lot of character
and this
development.
fourth one, and then now he's going to have this prequel. I'm really going to feel it when
I was more pissed about K2 or Donnie Yen than the two heroes.
So I forgot my biggest the biggest nerd out, the biggest love of this movie, Vader. Dude, hands down, the peek inside Vader's palace on Mustafar, where you see him in the back, you see him in the back to tank, and so you know he's still dealing with all that crap.
Up to Mordor.
That
I really felt like it was like a very Lord of the Rings kind of.
But go back to episode 3, dude. He's on the same planet that he got injured on in episode 3.
Was.
So I mean, it's a lava-ridden planet that is what it is. But then, dude,
they opened up the whatever
the
thing he was in, and you saw half his body. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
But dude,
I felt like the pan up to the castle. I was like, "Are we in Middle Earth?" That's what I felt.
But that last 5 minutes, we finally got the badass Vader that we've been waiting 7 movies for. Like that. I give them.
He did kill the younglings, though. We just get to see it.
No, dude. Just
so badass Vader as Vader, because I feel like he was badass in episode 2, even though people hated it. And episode 3, that final fight scene,
but he wasn't Vader in 2.
He wasn't Vader, right? So I felt I can disassociate enough to go. He becomes Vader. That's a badass fight between him and
Obi-Wan. Yeah,
and Obi-Wan.
So
you knew. So what it told you was he wrecked some shit between 3 and 4. Like he done.
His asthma got much worse.
Yeah, he done.
Yeah.
But why does everybody got sleep apnea or asthma?
He wasn't not badass when he fought Luke
Saul
Skywalker
didn't need his
at the end of
tank
Empire.
anymore,
Right at the end of
Jedi.
Jedi, right? Sorry, Return of the Jedi, which was originally called Revenge of the Jedi.
It was.
Which, if you go to the MJR Theater at 15 in Van Dyke,
I have that poster.
They have that poster. You have the poster?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Any of us had kids. You would think 4 guys like this could not get laid.
Well, not only that,
you're sitting next to the woman I lay.
Yeah,
never mind.
So, but no, honestly, the part of Jedi that kills me is like once you learn that Endor wasn't supposed to be Endor. It wasn't supposed to be little toy teddy bears. Wookiees, They were supposed to be on Kashyyyk. They were supposed to be Chewbacca's homeworld.
What happened there?
They decided to sell toys.
Oh,
and so they became Ewoks.
Because George Lucas is a genius.
Yeah.
And the Ewoks were celebrating because they got to eat clone meat.
Exactly.
Had nothing to do with. They didn't know the Death Star blew up. They don't know what the hell the Death Star is.
Bob, your 3 things. What were 3 moments got you getting?
When I walked out, I could everyone could nitpick it till the cows come home.
So what'd you love?
The whole thing.
Really?
I thought it was masterful. I thought it was the no, I'm not going to pinpoint because I thought it was.
This is also the man who called me to tell me to watch Super Sweet 16 because it was the best thing on TV.
What?
At the time.
That's the third segment, the two episodes away now.
I don't even talk to you anymore.
So many back-end episodes.
I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It was that dark. It was that
doesn't that hurt its future audience though, being so dark?
No.
I think this definitely, where Jedi went too far in the kid direction, this one went too far adult.
No.
I think
because Empire was dark.
Kids that were 12 during
two was dark. Empire 2 was slightly dark. Empire was really dark.
No, 3
was
dark.
3
is dark.
3 was
Absolutely.
dark.
I didn't think
dark. 3 was hopeless.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
But to
I
me,
loved it.
I think this could have been much darker, which gets into the whole reshoots thing because I think it was much darker at one point.
So
I think it had the Saving Private Ryan moment.
Because we've never gotten a director's cut.
I would love to see what the original cut of this was.
Yeah. I didn't like. Well, I'm just glad. Like, so in episode 7, like the hipster like redhead guy. I'm just glad like they made the Buck Rogers looking guy like kind of like a badass. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah. Well, I heard it as Koenig, which is German for king.
That was Koenig.
Yeah, I know. It's Koenig. The first time they said it like
Scotty?
that.
No, Koenig is
Koenig. Yeah, you're thinking Walter Koenig. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was he?
That's Scotty.
It is Scotty.
It's king in German. Yeah.
That's good.
But like
I've been drinking a little.
I don't know.
Cross your streams.
I appreciated the whole movie. I like I said, you could have a movie about one of the characters, like the saxophone player in the whole Cantina movie about that guy's life.
What's the blue
Max
elephant?
Rebo.
Did we see them in this movie? We saw
you could
them,
have
right?
a movie with him.
Huh? We saw the Cantina guys who was like, my friend doesn't like your face.
That's Dr. Ebazan and Panda Baba, yeah.
Pig face and walrus guy.
Nerd points for you. I didn't know their names.
Bob's erection is going to ring the bell. Dave's erection is going to ring the bell.
No, but you could have a movie about that guy, like his just as like a lonely musician at the cantina, going home to his wife and like hanging out,
singing the Piano Man.
Just like I would be like, yee, Star
Cantina
Wars,
Man.
Like I'm that entrenched. Like you could serve me up a platter of bantha fodder.
Two of the best characters
I'm eating it.
in universe are the blind stickman and Baz, the badass with the gun. I want to see their love story or buddy cop story or
the prequel to 3 of their.
Yes, I mean that was some of the best characters.
So to me, my hope is that they do that. I want to see them stop focusing on
Skywalker,
the timelines that we already kind of know about. I want them to go back and do the Journal of the Wills. I want them to go back and get into like those stories. I want them to get into like Darth Plagueis.
By the time we're 60, we're going to see all of it.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
But we'll be sitting here on a podcast bitching about it.
So here's where you and I diverge. I feel like when you're asking for what you're asking for, you need the touch points. You need the historical touch points within this fictional universe, right? I'm thinking as a historian, I'm going, okay, there are historical touch points of, hey, here's how we got from this point, from point A to point B to point C. I realize point A affects point C because point B exists, right?
Well, yeah.
So with Star Wars, I think you have to have these touch points or these nods, which for you at this point are upsetting or disconcerting. But I think when we're going to look at this another 40 years from now, you're going to have these touch points that you'll appreciate a little bit further because we have enough distance from the fact that it came out when we were however many years
yes
old.
And no. So where Rogue One would differ from something like that. So you've got Rogue One.
This is never going to be the Godfather 3. Rogue One's never going to be Godfather 3.
No. Like I said, I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying it's not. It's
meh.
It's right, but it's the post that I made last night where everybody that I've seen saying, "Oh, Rogue One is right underneath Empire on my Star Wars list."
Those people are wrong.
Those are the same people that were telling me what a phenomenal, over-the-top, awesome movie Deadpool was.
Deadpool was great, but I feel like they were
I finally sat and watched Deadpool Saturday night. Right. I now understand those people better.
I didn't understand
because Deadpool
that
was cute.
Deadpool is the most fun you've had in a movie
was a lot of
in
fun.
a long time.
Deadpool was a lot of fun.
It's my second favorite superhero movie.
I didn't see it either. I didn't like it either.
Deadpool.
Wait, you didn't like it either, or you didn't see it either?
No, I thought it was fine.
Okay, you said you didn't
but
see
I didn't like it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Did you see
Deadpool? Yeah.
You did see it?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, it was meh. It was all right. It was what it was.
Ant-Man?
Oh, yeah. I liked Ant-Man.
Ant-Man very much.
Ant-Man's my number 3.
Ant-Man was way better than Deadpool.
But it's one of my least favorite, but I like it.
But so to me, you've got...
Ant-Man was good because it was so much better than we thought it was going to be.
True.
That's the problem with Ant-Man. But anyway, go on.
So Rogue One, so you've got this story that's in a very tightly defined box.
Yes.
And it's where they have to live.
Right.
Whereas something like Darth Plagueis, like that whole story, the only reference point is it's our studio. We'll run long if we want. The only reference point to Plagueis is when Palpatine is talking to Anakin in episode 3 about 1,000 years ago there was this Sith that discovered the secret of keeping people alive, and that was how he his whole wanting to save Padme because of those dreams
with the Sorcerer's Stone.
Right. So pay so close attention. These are all things where I watched Force Awakens and I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Well, but so like
never heard of him.
But to me, that's an uncharted storyline that has that touch point. Because, okay, here's what Palpatine was talking about, or here's the guy that Palpatine was talking about to turn Anakin
removed.
That's not,
which is fine.
That's not a tightly defined.
What were the video games? Of the
Old Republic.
Old Republic.
Yeah.
Right.
See, now that would be sweet.
That's a whole other world you can play with.
A bounty hunters.
Absolutely.
So that's what my question was getting at. Where do you have to go to be removed where there's not these touch points? That's enough for you, a super fan, right?
And you're
You can
a
remove yourself-
0.1%. I mean, I don't think Disney can be profitable targeting you with these
Right. That
$4 billion
that's a good point.
investment.
If you went to,
But they would, because
now
of
you
Bob's
could.
point.
Now you could,
Because you slap Star Wars on it, and people are going to go see it.
but now you could with Plagius. I was like, now we've seen him in A Force Awakens. Who's this dude? Don't know who that is. Well, I read this. Okay, cool. That's great.
Right.
Well, now for someone who's read stuff and a person who has not read it, same thing for Harry Potter fans. I never read the books. I've seen the movies now. It's all
you're
great.
missing out.
So we can all watch the new Harry Potter movie.
Now, so that's where it got
great.
weird for me with some of the Rogue One discussions is, people were saying, oh, well, you just didn't appreciate that because you don't watch Rebels, or you didn't appreciate that because you didn't read X.
Don't make me.
Don't be lost. Don't try to make me like their movies.
Lost the show?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Like, don't make me go to a website or try to get me to go watch this. Or try
I
to
shouldn't
get
have
me
to
go
watch
read that.
3 hours of stuff to understand the 2 hours.
Correct.
Of
Well, it's
Right.
Walking Dead. Oh, did you read the
Absolutely.
comics? Oh, did you read the comics? I keep hearing that when I talk about Walking Dead. I'm
They're
like,
so far removed
no.
from the comics at this point. It's not even
I
funny.
don't want.
for
I don't
anybody
want
who
to.
says
I don't
that.
want to have to read. I don't read anyway.
Watch TV. So
Comics are great.
Yeah,
though.
Bob
You do
reads
need
the
to read
gas
those.
we pass and moves on.
It's in my bathroom every time.
But no, so I mean, like I said, I mean, all things being equal, I'm not like, and I've never said Rogue One sucks,
Okay.
and I'm still not saying that.
All right.
It's
we need to get to the trailer because
the reshoots.
We beat the hell out of this Wookiee. Let's talk about the blog post I've been seeing. There's 11 things in the trailers that weren't in the movies.
Yeah,
that is stunning to me. Even the iconic
Why?
line, which is on T-shirts.
That's common.
It's a rebellion. I rebel. Was not in the movie.
That's commonplace.
And the big one was
It wasn't. Oh, that's
Jin
commonplace.
facing off to the TIE fighter.
Well,
Yes.
you don't
That's
know
what everyone was.
Yeah.
I was
trailer-
so excited to see who was in the TIE fighter.
Exactly.
That is
so
one
you
of
had
the-
a TIE fighter coming up behind Jin when she's up there with the whole little dish realignment
Yeah.
thing. But you don't know if it was a face-off. I mean,
What,
that could have been
hang on.
one of the rogue guys.
What is
in
this?
there.
What is this? 1978. My dad's telling me to turn the antenna on the roof because he can't get a good signal.
It's clickbait.
It's Jesus Christ!
Wrap it in aluminum foil?
That article in again, I'm going to say this in my opinion. That article is clickbait. Okay, because
I
here's
was
the thing.
fascinated. I read every paragraph.
And a lot of people do, but there's a lot of previews for movies that come out where there's all these scenes that don't end up being in the final movie that you see.
I mean, these are iconic images in this trailer that aren't anywhere
But
in the movie.
The trailer.
That's why I
is-
wanna see
the
the
trailer
director's
is
cut.
to get you to go see the movie.
It
And
works.
maybe it is because there'll be a director's cut that comes out, but in Star Wars, it generally doesn't happen.
Well,
but
and everybody talks about the whole, all movies have reshoots and that kind of thing. What I'm
a lot of
curious
movies
about
have reshoots. Yes,
they do, but Suicide Squad went through it, but
Yeah.
but I
And
mean,
it was still a shitty
They
movie.
brought
That
in
was a director's cut
horrible
there.
movie.
but they brought
just
in a
released it, didn't they?
high-powered guy at a $5 million price tag to come in and rewrite and reshoot Rogue One.
It's $200,000 a day.
Yeah, so it was no joke. So
That is, that's more than my
sorry.
college debt.
So
what did that guy do? What,
So
how
now
is
my
this
question
special?
is, we didn't see the stormtroopers walking through the water.
Right.
We didn't see, there was a lot of that stuff that went on. And so I think what got, because, you look at the arc of the movie. And so I'm guessing It's a Rebellion, I Rebel got chopped in order to make Jin a softer character. Like to show a softer side of her. I'm guessing that a lot of the TIE fighter and the footage of, because you could almost see where, like when the grenade gets launched into the stolen shuttle, and the AT-ATs are just mowing people down, but they don't really show you a lot of mowing people down, but that's what's going on. That was that Saving Private Ryan moment on the beach. And somebody went, and my guess is somebody went,
tamed it down.
That's way, way too dark and deep for a Star Wars flick, or the MPAA came down and said, yeah, that's an R.
For PG-13, right.
If
you know
show
what?
that.
This felt like an R to me.
Do you know what Rogue One missed? Was when you remember 7, episode 7, and there was that scene with the stupid bug-eyed lady that had the lightsaber.
Yeah.
She was wonderful.
I know, but I don't know her name. I purposely don't know their names just so I don't sound like Dave. I know.
Dave, what's her name? What's her name?
When they said, "Hey, the rebellion's here," and here comes the X-wings on the water, and like. You pooped all. Yeah. You like a little dollop got in your underpants. Like you pooped.
Oh, yeah.
And there wasn't. Oh, yeah. There wasn't that scene in Rogue One.
That's true.
That made you. You
didn't love. The fun was out of this movie.
Yeah,
it was a great movie.
All of it.
But it lacked the fun. And K2 tried to bring that to it, and I didn't connect with them. So
I guess let's.
There was an article that I read recently where I can't remember where it is. I'll try to find it. But it talks about this phenomena of directors and film houses filming scenes that are never intended to be in the film, just for the preview to get you pumped up.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the case here.
I think it's a new phenomenon. I really do.
But to your point about K2SO Bob that you brought up earlier, so I mean that whole, why is he suddenly witty and has no filter, because of being reprogrammed?
They explained it when I heard it my second time around that they said after the reprogramming it's a byproduct.
Yeah,
and he says whatever's on his mind. It's kind of like the handicapped guy in Shameless,
right?
He just says whatever he thinks.
Yeah,
but he should. What does he think? He's a reprogrammed. I'm just saying.
Alan Tudyk, though, who voices K2, is kind of the John.
I did not know that was him.
Yeah. He's the John Ratzenberger of Disney animation now. He's in every Disney movie. He was, King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. He's
who was he in
Duke
Finding
Weaselton.
Dory? Who was in Finding Dory? Was he in Finding Dory?
No, that's Pixar. That's Ratzenberger.
Pixar. See, people always differentiate. But okay,
Ratzenberger's in every Pixar. Tudyk is in every big. He's in Moana as well.
Who was in Moana? I love Moana.
The chicken. Hey,
Dave, we got to wrap things up. We could talk on that note.
Yeah, because we could be here forever. Because
so much more I could say about this.
So many thoughts. But no.
What about the mind reading octopus? We didn't talk about.
See, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, especially the second time I saw it Sunday with the kids, all I could think of was Total Recall and the open your mind. That's all I could think of with the giant mind reading squid. That's all I can think of.
Well, that explains why he was kind of weird afterwards, because it said it could, that was a side effect of getting that done.
It made you lose. Yeah, it made you go.
So
go psychotic and lose your mind.
And it drove me nuts. And I'm totally this is if you have little kids and you have little kids, if you ever watch Diary of the Wimpy Kid, I always say Diarrhea of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
But it's the Diarrhea of a Wimpy Kid. It looked just like his older brother, the lead singer of Loaded Diaper.
Yeah.
And it drove me bananas because that's all I kept thinking about was that guy. It's a stupid, yelling at his little brother. Anyway, can we end this thing? I'm talking about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, for Christ's sake.
All right, so Charlie, where do we find Moka Boka?
Moka Boka is MOKABOKA.com.
Okay. Then Calvin, we can find you out at 72 Tours.
72tours.com. And then also I have my podcast here on Podcast Detroit.
Yes, you do on Wednesdays.
Leading questions with Calvin Moore, which is great stuff too.
On behalf of myself, Bob the Sales Guy, and Dave the Geek, I want to thank Indeed Prime, VMware, and Jamp for their sponsorship.
And Nuri bailed out to avoid the spoilers.
Yeah, he didn't want to hear this. Yeah, exactly. That's good, though. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for listening. And like I said, whatever you're celebrating this holiday season, happy that. Do us a favor, drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. Drive careful.
And if we don't see you next week, have a safe and happy New Year, kids.
Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your ass. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run.
Run. Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
To own the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.